Hello ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a very long time, but I'm finally back. I'm working on some stuff right now that should hopefully bring you guys very high quality content in the very near future. And because of that, I may have a bit of a rocky start getting everything up and running again, but I'm definitely going to try my best to get the giveaways and the videos and everything back up as soon as possible and, on track. And without further ado, thanks to the very awesome guys over at Code Alvarez, I bring you Paranautical Activity. The game is currently on Steam Early Access for $10 or £7 depending on where you are. The current version you're seeing right now is in fact the beta, so the game is not finished and you can expect a lot more patches with a lot more content and features and so on and so forth. Now you guys may be wondering what exactly Paranautical Activity is, because it looks like a whole mashup of many different things. And to answer you, it kinda is a mashup of many different things. Think of roguelikes, think of Binding of Isaac. Binding of Isaac is a perfect example. Now, while you're thinking of Binding of Isaac, make it 3D, give it Quake-like movement and gun mechanics, and a blocky art style reminiscent of, yep, you guessed it, Minecraft. Speaking of Minecraft, every time a game with a blocky art style comes out, people go on the forums and cry and whine that these games are copying Minecraft and instantly dismiss it. Some even going as far as saying that blocky art styles and pixel art and all that nonsense is not needed because of the day and age we live in. And that of course is utter trash, and you should definitely look at this game for what it is. In the start you get to pick one of several characters. Each character starts with a different weapon and different stats. Some weapons are stronger and more useful than others, but some characters have better stats than others, and I think the shotgun character is probably the safest bet to go with. Apart from that, the game's format is incredibly similar to Binding of Isaac. So you start out on a single floor with multiple rooms. Every time you enter a room, it shuts behind you and enemies spawn, and then you have to finish off all the enemies. The door opens and you move on. Each floor has multiple rooms, one boss and one side boss. The side boss is completely optional of course, but the main boss has to be killed for you to progress to the lower floors. I believe there are currently 7 floors, though I've only made it to the 3rd. You also encounter these shops, and they seem to have random items that you can buy for the gold you pick up. You also gain an item at the end of every boss if you manage to beat it. The usefulness of these items vary a great deal. Sometimes you even find weapons, and weapons swap out your current one, so you can only have one weapon at a time. But weapons have no ammo, which means you can fire them infinitely, and also have no reload time, so something like the grenade launcher makes it really powerful. It's an area denial tool, but you can also hit yourself with it, and in tight quarters it becomes increasingly dangerous to use. While the game tries to emulate Quake-like shooting and movement, bunny hopping doesn't actually speed you up, or it doesn't seem to anyway. While the mechanics are solid, I do feel like the level design could use a little work. Some of them are really awkward with the way things are spawned, especially stairs, and you can end up getting stuck in them. Then again, this could very well be due to the fact that I'm absolutely rubbish at the game. I think the textures on the walls and the floors and the levels don't kind of fit. Of course, this is my opinion, but I think it's because they've used a hybrid sort of art style. For example, on one hand the enemies and the lighting and everything looks fantastic, done in a sort of voxel style similar to Cube World, and then you look at the levels which don't really follow the same style. For example, you see all these metal bars on the walls that are part of the textures and they're all pixely and stuff. And while that's fine, they could have done that in the Cube voxel style and made them stick out and made them have more depth and be more defined, because right now all the levels are perfect cubes. The textures are just that, textures. They're perfectly flat, and when you go up to them they don't look that great. Then again, you don't get the time to go up and look at textures because the game is incredibly tense and really fast paced. Mastering circle strafing and bunny hopping will probably keep you alive a lot longer. I think the biggest problem right now is repetition, and the enemies do get old after some time. The devs, a 2-man team mind you, have just finished a Kickstarter, and because of that they will be able to add a whole bunch more content to the game. More enemies, levels, weapons, items, so on and so forth. And from what I read, I believe they're trying to add co-op as well, which is crazy. I do hope they get some sounds in though, because right now enemies don't really make any noise. Paranautical Activity does take a bit of time to get going, but once you sort of get it, the game can be very fun. It is a very entertaining game. And I've mentioned my 3 biggest gripes with it so far. So repetition, and that is most definitely going to be fixed in the very near future. Though I do have to admit, the further down you go, the more variation you see. The levels get harder because they add traps and lava flows and all sorts of nonsense to shoot you in the foot. Or rather help you shoot yourself in the foot. My second gripe would be the sound, and that can also be fixed, though probably not easily. And the third would be unifying the art style and, fleshing out the world a bit, because right now it looks really, really bland and doesn't really seem to fit with the voxel cube style. Of course, the last one is just preference, but it would be a nice addition, and more variety in general should probably be the main focus right now. And the devs have already taken that into consideration, which is awesome. The devs are only a two-man team, and it's incredible what they've done so far. I can't wait to see what the game will look like when it's all wrapped up and ready to go. Unfortunately, the game has had a bit of trouble getting onto Steam. I think it's been trying since last year, and now it's finally been greenlit with a whole host of other titles, so the devs finally get that bit of extra income to help them finish what they started. I believe what happened was the devs tried to get a publisher, Adult Swim, and Adult Swim was all raring ready to go, but Steam shot them down because they didn't want indie devs to think that they could just find a publisher and bypass Greenlight, which is incredibly silly. I'm sure you guys can look that up if you're, curious. In any case, the devs were very kind to provide me with this spare copy of Paranormal Activity to give away to you guys. So check out the description below. It'll contain a link to the giveaway and how to enter and how long it's going to last, that sort of thing. And once again, I do apologize for being away for so long, but I'm back now, so I'm definitely going to try and get my videos up and running in a timely fashion again, though I may have a bit of trouble at the start. Thanks again, guys. If you enjoyed or didn't like the video, feel free to like or dislike down below, or leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll see you guys next time.